Welcome back to the MarkyMarc show, guys. I'm your host, Mark Johnson. Today is June 20th, and it is 5 o'clock. We're going to start the 5 o'clock show. Today we're going to give you guys some updates about what's going on with Russia and the United States, as, of course, the United States have shot down a Syrian aircraft in Syrian airspace, and Russians have said that they are going to act on this and take down any U.S. aircraft trying to take down another Syrian aircraft by launching anti-missiles. We are also going to be talking about the Donald Trump investigation, the Congress investigation into Donald Trump's alleged pairings with Russia and them, and his staff having contact with Russians, which is a very big thing because the simple fact is these investigations have gone out of control. Every day is a new big thing with these investigations. So we'll start off with the headlines today. There is a story developing as of right now. Police have shot and killed an armed suspect in Brussels today after a blast went off in the Brussels train station. In Belgium. The main train station in Belgium, capital, was evacuated Tuesday evening after security forces shot a person following a small but fiery blast, officials said. Nobody besides the alleged perpetrator was hurt in the incident, which happened around 9 p.m. local time at Brussels Central Station, the prosecutor's office reported. Military personnel had to neutralize an individual, the Belgian Crisis Center reported in a tweet. Situation is under control. Police are on the scene. Follow orders. The condition and identity of the wounded suspect was not immediately known. Meanwhile, heavily armed police officers and soldiers surrounded the train station and sealed off the entrances, according to witnesses and video from the scene. The U.S. Embassy in Brussels sent out an alert urging American citizens to avoid the area. American citizens are to avoid the area around the station. The American Embassy is being told, and the State Department is giving that orders to the American Embassy to tell American citizens who are in Brussels right now. Brussels has been on high alert since March 2016 when 3 coordinated suicide bombings at the city's airport in Zaventem and at the Malabik metro station left 32 dead. The 3 suicide bombers were also killed. This story is just being developed, and we will know more soon about that. There's nothing else I have on that story, but I will update you guys on that. Political news. I was going to say we're going to talk about some political stuff before we get into the Donald Trump stuff. This is about Russia. A Russian jet comes within feet of U.S. spy plane, Washington said. An armed Russian fighter jet intercepted a U.S. reconnaissance aircraft over the Baltic Sea on Monday, 3 U.S. defense officials told NBC. The Russians' aircraft flew within a feet of U.S. aircraft RC-135, which is our spy drones that are, not spy drones, but spy planes. The official said, characterizing the interaction as both unsafe and unprofessional. The armed Russian aircraft was operating at a high rate of speed, and the pilot had poor control, according to the official. The U.S. spy plane was in international airspace when the Russian jet closed for an interception. Also, Tuesday, a U.S. fighter jet shot down a Syrian regime-backed drone for the second time this month. A U.S. F-15 took down the drone because it was showing hostile intent to coalition forces on the ground, according to a U.S. defense official. The Shahed 129 drone was flying in a pattern that would have taken it directly over where U.S. troops were operating at combat outposts near the Syrian-Jordan border to train coalition forces, ground forces, in the fight against ISIS, according to the Pentagon press release. Now, I have been in contact with the Pentagon press release, the press, and they said that basically, quote-unquote, what they told NBC is basically what's it, that they were training U.S. coalition forces. The drone came over, and we took out the fighter pilot who took it down got confirmation from command to ask if he could take it down, so they took it down. So this was a illegal strike by the U.S. military. The drone was armed, but it did not drop any ammunition. Officials called the drone actions unacceptable and said the U.S. shot it down before it was too late to protect the troops on the ground. The coalition will not allow pro-regime aircraft to threaten or approach in close proximity to coalition and partnered forces, the U.S. military said in a statement. The incident took place in the same area the U.S. shot down an Iranian-made drone earlier this month. A pro-regime drone dropped munitions in the area on June 8th before being shot down. The coalition presence in Syria addresses the imminent threat ISIS in Syria poses globally, the Pentagon statement said. The coalition does not seek to fight Syrian regime, Russian or pro-regime forces partnered with them, but will not hesitate to defend coalition or partnered forces from any threat. Basically, guys, see, this is getting very, very bad, because if Syria does this again, we're going to shoot it down, and we're getting really close to war with the Syrian regime down there. And see, North Korea, we're not, people say, oh, we're going to go war with North Korea first. Well, that's a lie. My estimate says we may actually put more ground troops this year than we've ever had in Iraq and Afghanistan because of problems like this. Because the Syrian regime does not believe in the coalition forces. The Syrians are believed to take money from ISIS. We believe that ISIS is funding the Syrian regime, according to the U.S. intelligence services, the CIA, stuff like that. But that story will always be breaking, stuff like that, So let's go here. North Korea, I'm going to talk to you about. If anybody don't know, Will Rainbow died yesterday in a coma when he was on the airplane. Will Wimber's death forced Trump to act on North Korea. The death of American college student Otto Ramber, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but who cares, on Monday, just days after his unexpected return to the United States from a North Korean prison, is certain to galvanize President Trump, experts say. But whatever it is to be catalyst for the major response that could redefine U.S. and North Korean relations remains to be seen. The president is going to have to do something, and it is going to have to be a well beyond condolences that he gave yesterday and condemnation of North Korea, said Gordon Chang, a Daily Best columnist and author of the North Korean Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. He needs to make clear to North Korea and other regimes that there will be a severe cost for harming an American. And he is right. Any American life taken by any government that is not, sanctioned or not, politically right, not humane, not justice. If it's, if it's not in for a purpose, if it's in for injustice purpose or inhumane gesture, or just to piss us off, we're going to take actions. And Donald Trump needs to do something now. He got to send a message saying that you cannot harm American lives without suffering the consequences. Which I think, is something that needs to be talked about. The declaration by Arizona Senator John McCain and other Washington lawmakers that Wimber's death constitutes murder by North Korea will likely force Trump to show how serious he is, Chang added. So basically, if you North Korea killed this guy, okay? He murdered him. Technically, that is a declaration of war against the United States, killing an American citizen like that. So Congress, as John McCain stated right now, Congress is probably in meetings about this, and Trump is probably meeting with his advisors to do something. So if I wouldn't be surprised if you hear in a couple of days, worst case scenario, that we're going to bomb one of their military bases. Worst case scenario, worst case. Best case scenario, that we're going to send a diplomat down there. I don't know. Who knows? No, On Tuesday, Trump said during a press availability that it is a disgrace that happened to Otto. He positioned that Wimber's death might have been avoided if he had been brought home sooner. A veiled knock on the Obama administration for failing to bring about his release. Now, see, I think Obama messed up a little bit right there, because all we had to do is send in a Navy SEAL reconnaissance team, or even a Delta Force reconnaissance team. If anybody don't know what Delta Force is, they're the most specialized unit besides Navy SEALs. They work alongside Navy SEALs. Delta Force is part of the United States Army. Anywho, we could have sent them in, and they could have got him out safely, whatever. The study abroad student was arrested in January 2016 for trying to steal a North Korean propaganda banner from his Pyongyang hotel. He was sentenced to hard labor and remained in custody for 17 months. He should have been brought home that same day, Trump said. The result would have been a lot different. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer told reporters Tuesday afternoon that the Trump administration will continue to apply economic and political pressure on North Korea, and is counting on China to help play a greater role in restraining the tolerance regime of Kim Jong-un. China is North Korea's main ally and trading partner, and the U.S. relies on China for helping maintain stability in the region. What they mean is helping maintain stability is basically, we don't want a civil war going on there. Can you imagine that? Trump earlier this year said he would be honored to meet Kim under certain circumstances. Clearly, we are moving further away, not closer toward a meeting, Spicer said. The U.S. State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert told reporters Tuesday that that officials are still considering options at this time in regarding to North Korea, and couldn't say whether that it might influence further sanctions or even going before International Criminal Court, the ICC, which is in The Hague in the Netherlands. Given the high level of attention, Chang said, Trump and the State Department won't simply let 22-year-old Wimber's death go without being challenged. One immediate move would be an outright travel ban, which was suggested last week when the House Foreign Affairs Committee questioned Secretary of State Rex Tillerson about supporting a measure. We should travel ban. No tourism should be allowed to go to North Korea. I'm for that. I really am. And this is a quote, and this is a true quote. Tourism helps to fund one of the most brutal and despotic regimes in the world. When you travel to North Korea, okay, which technically is against the law here in the United States. Technically you can, technically you can't. It depends on who you are, what you're doing over there, whatever. Like an average American citizen wanting to travel to North Korea, that might get a red flag. You might come back home and you might be questioned by CIA, Homeland Security, shit like that. Even the military would probably send their own special operations team and question you, but that's happened before. We have been evaluating whether we should put some type of travel visa restriction on North Korea, Tillerson told the committee. We've not come to a final conclusion, but we are considering it.